it's Wednesday and we got a little cutback in hours right now because of the COVID-19 shit that's going around. So I'm getting a jump on this weekend's work. So I'm at Single Mom Rescue's house, and I'm gonna go ahead and just do a quick mow, edge, weed eat, you know, just a quick little cleanup mow for her. And but this ditch right here, if you look at this ditch, it's a pretty steep ditch. And so I wanted to show you guys how to handle ditch mowing, because mowing a ditch can be a real pain in the butt. And so I wanted to show you guys a couple tips that I figured out through the years. I was taught actually when I was younger, and then of course over time you perfect your technique. So I want to show you guys how to handle ditch mowing with a large area mower, such as this. Now it could be a stander, it can be a walk behind, it could be a zero turn, but a large area mower can do some serious freaking damage to a ditch if you don't know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you might end up weed eating this when you don't need to. So I'm going to show you how. Now the caveat to all of this is, depending on the angle of the ditch will depend on your safety, okay? If you're on a zero turn and you're mowing a ditch like this, you better have the roll bar set up. I can't remember what it's called, operator safety bars or whatever the hell. If you're on a compact zero turn and you don't have one of those, well, I'm gonna have to get bug spray. I got it in the truck. Then be very, very careful when you're mowing a ditch, all right? People die from zero turns mowing a ditch because once it goes and it goes over, it'll crush you. Especially if you got a large commercial zero turn. It'll literally crush you if the blades don't get you. And it happened last season, in fact, or maybe the season before. I know one that it happened. So please be really, really careful when you're ditch mowing. If you're on a stander, same rules apply, okay? You don't want to go over with that thing, so maybe walk it. Most standers you can walk behind, put the platform up. If you're on a walk behind like this, money. If you lose control of your machine, just step out of the ditch and let the machine do what it's going to do. Don't get in its way. All right, just try to kill the blades or whatever before you do anything. So let me show you guys something real quick before we get started. I'm going to show you guys how to mow a ditch. Underneath the deck of a large area mower with a side chute, all right, if you've got one that's a rear discharge, then the rules are going to be different, all right? But using a side chute, I want you to see how the deck is configured, right? So you're going to have your outer frame here, which is going to be pretty thick, and then your blade comes around right here. And you got about I don't know, a 1/4 inch between this frame of your deck and the blade right here, okay? On this side, you have no such thing. Now, if you have a mulching plate, then you can try it, but I want you to see how close this blade is to the edge of the opening here. So what happens is, this blade, if you have this blade down in your ditch, you can gouge it, and I'll show you that, because there's no frame here to protect the lawn, to protect the property, or to protect the ditch. Because what you want to do is you want to stick that deck right here all the way down at the V, and almost a little bit on the up. And then this blade right here is going to cut right in the V, as I'll demonstrate. If you try doing that on this side, this blade will be gouging the up. It'll be coming in and slicing the up. And so you're going to end up with a line right there. Then when you turn around and go back the other way, you're going to end up with a line right there. Then you're going to have to go back with your weed eater and try to blend all that in. So what I'm going to try to show you guys is how to cut a ditch that has a pretty good angle like this using just the right side of your, the left side of your deck, and stick it in there, and the deck will protect the up. So I'm gonna put my mower pretty deep into the ditch, where a lot of people be like, oh man, you don't want to do that. Yes, you do. Now if it's wet or something like that, or muddy, then you got to be careful, of course. But just a dry ditch, just mowing a ditch, a culvert, whatever you want to call it. If you got commercial property or something like that, you might have a big old long distance of this, and you've been weed eating it because you can't get it right. So I'm going to show you how to get it right. If you're using a small mower today, this is still relevant for you, because you may have a large area mower by the end of this season, right? So we'll see. But watch how I handle mowing this ditch. I'm going to set up with the left side of my deck that has the frame of the deck. I'm going to that I'm gonna ditch it pretty deep into the ditch and let the deck run along the up, and then come around, turn around, and go back the other way, and there'll be no weed eating required. If I try to do it the opposite direction, the blade will be gouging the hell out of the up, and we don't want to do that. So now this ditch is done and I don't have to do any weed eating except for right by the actual little pipe where you just can't get close enough, kind of blend it a little bit. But the ditch is mowed and I didn't have to do any weed eating. So don't be afraid to do that, okay? Be on the right side of the ditch and stick the left side of the deck in the V, right down in the V. And the deck will protect the up from getting gouged by the blades. If you go the other way, you'll gouge the crap out of it. Too easy. All right, let me finish her up, then I'm going to show you guys some new lawns today. This is yard number 2 for the day. I went home and, sorry about that. Went home and made egg sandwiches for me and the boys. And so yard number 2, right here. Pretty simple. They're doing some landscaping up there on their own. I washed this house last week. And this is a nice and easy yard. So let me go ahead and put an edge on it. And I'll show you this finished product, and then we'll go and I'll show you yard number 3, and we'll go ahead and put a weed eat on it. And then yard number 4, we'll put a mow on it. And then we'll wrap up 4 lawns for the day, and then maybe do a 5th yard before we pack it in.
I didn't share any of the work on this yard. I just did a quick cut edge trim and blow off because we already did this one completely on video and when I first got this yard. But this one's number 4, and so that's 3 yards. 1, that 1 story is 2, down this road is 3, and around the corner from down the road, 3 or 4 houses down from her, is going to be number 4, but he's just not ready yet. So we'll probably be doing him sometime in April. So that's 4 in this little circle. It's a real small little circle right here. and that's the exit street right there. So that's 4 houses right here in this tiny little area, and I live right where those tall trees are. That's my neighborhood, separated by a creek, so I gotta go around the block to get home. And then here's the back, nice and clean. So I'm gonna go do one more, number 5. I call her Gigi the Bee Whisperer, because she has bees at her old house that she's moving down here as soon as she gets a permit. She has honeybees, so her name's Gigi. So I saved her as Gigi the Bee Whisperer. You know, I always nickname my customers. So this one hasn't earned a name yet. So, all right. And yes, I am not afraid to work in just a pair of shorts. I don't care about uniforms and all that bullshit. So, whatever. So that's real cool. You guys got to see a new customer come out, ask me how much I charged while I was mowing, went over, talked to him, sold him on the $70 a month, and then I turned around and collected $40 for today because it's the end of the month. So he paid me $40 for today, and then on April 1st I'm going to invoice him $70 for April. And he's going to pay all year long. And this guy lives here. He's not a renter, he owns this house. So pretty nice, and it's nice to do the two together. Super easy. So we ended up getting 6 done. 5 of the 9 that are due Saturday, so I got 4 to do Saturday. And it's my house, my neighbor's house, her neighbor's house, and the house right across the street. Too easy. So there you go. Looks good. Looks real good. Happy customers, happy Dan. See you guys on the next one.